it's time for Fantasy Fanatics.
Here we are. Yes, welcome to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuppridge.
I'm Andrew Freeman.
We are going to start off talking about defense and special teams as we have gotten into our football discussions for everything. So we went over a lot of positions in the for the upcoming football season.
Running backs, wide receivers, quarterbacks, all the juicy ones. But
right.
Now we're doing the positions you don't really think about, and some leagues very important.
Yes, and I agree in that a lot of leagues it's pretty important. The defense/special teams. Number one pick, as I incorrectly stated last week. You remember how you had me guess who the number one defense was, and I blew that. But
big time.
Yeah, but that was the Seattle Seahawks are the number one defense, and most people have that as their consensus pick.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you came too.
Yeah. This is from NFL.com, the rankings anyway. But yeah. Seattle's number one. Number two, the Carolina Panthers, which seems right to me. I know
they
that
have a great front
defense.
seven. I don't know if I'd put the Carolina Panthers ahead of San Francisco.
Right.
I can see why they did that, but just say it as it is.
Yeah, I mean the Carolina Panthers. It's a good choice for number two, and obviously you'd have a pretty good defense. You can't go wrong with having them. Number three, San Francisco. San Francisco's got a good defense, which they've had for a pretty long time. They have a good balance of offense and defense, I think. Number four, Cincinnati Bengals.
Kind of a surprise to me.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a surprise. I never think of their defense as being that good, but
dominant in any way.
Yeah, but they got some key players.
The next one's they all kind of surprise me. Because I thought the Denver Broncos would be a little higher.
A little higher than number 9, which is what they are on this list. Yeah. Number 5, Arizona Cardinals. That's a little surprising.
They had a lot of touchdowns last season.
Yeah, they did.
A lot of interceptions, a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, Arizona. St. Louis is up there at number 6. They did have a good defense. They could never score, partly because Sam Bradford was hurt, as he gets hurt almost every year.
Yes.
And, that sort of ruins your offense.
I think Sam Bradford has this chance where we need someone else in St. Louis.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's time for them to start looking elsewhere, because Sam Bradford is going to get hurt. Even when he's healthy, he's not that good. Number 7, the Kansas City Chiefs. They had a pretty good defense last year, too.
Yeah, except for one game of that year, the one that actually mattered.
The playoff game.
Yes.
Yeah, wow. I mean, it was a good first half.
Yeah, it was fantastic first half, but they sort of crumbled
second
in the second
half.
They got relaxed, and then T.Y. Hilton blew up their secondary.
Yep. I mean, Andrew Luck was just awesome.
He was
that
on.
Game, too. Number 8, the New England Patriots. They always seem to be in the mix for good defense. They're more of an offensive-minded team, of course, because you still have Tom Brady. But
Belichick always has things up his sleeve, and they've really slowed down their game in these last 3 years.
They have.
Because Tom Brady can't chuck down the long ball at all.
Yeah, they seem to play. It's not like a boring type of football, but it's always sort of like a tedious.
More conservative now.
Yeah.
You have 3 running backs in the backfield, have no idea which one's going to get whoever's the hot hand that day.
Right.
So.
Yeah, number 9, the Denver Broncos. I mean, they're doing okay. I mean, obviously they had a really good defense last year, but they did have some games where they gave up a lot of points, and they ended up, they would win by like a touchdown in like a high-scoring game in the 40s or something. But they are number 9 on this list. Number 10, the Buffalo Bills. That's a little surprising too.
Then they're above the Chicago Bears, which is even more kind of.
Yeah, that is a little concerning. I know the Bears had an awful defense last year, but they definitely
secondary
improved.
Had some issues.
But they definitely improved a lot, and you still have a Pro Bowler in Lance Briggs, and you just signed Jared Allen.
I would actually put the Cleveland Browns at number 10.
Okay.
They have Joe Hayden. They have a decent secondary. They have a good line. They might have a good quarterback in Manziel. Maybe.
Yeah.
If he can get his act together, which we have a story about that a little bit later.
Yes, we do.
But yeah, I would definitely put the Cleveland Browns as a team that would be in the top 10 of defenses.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So 10 is the Buffalo Bills, 11 is the Chicago Bears, and we talked about that. Number 12, the Baltimore Ravens. Of course, last year they didn't have the season they were hoping for, but
you lost
coming off the Super Bowl year.
You lost so many good players from that team after that.
I mean, you lost your main guy in Ray Lewis.
I think Sutton got traded.
Sutton did get traded, yeah.
So you lost two of your leaders in the defensive team there. Mm-hmm. And it showed a lot.
Yeah, it definitely did.
They didn't have their pump-up man, Ray Lewis. But we should move on from defenses because the rest of them are all kind of...
Yeah, the rest of them. I mean, I was a little surprised that the Packers were as far down as they were.
Yeah, with A.J. Hawk and...
At number 20.
All those guys in the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, but the Bears definitely improved their defense this season, so I think number 11 is probably a good fit for where they are. Just other teams in that division, Detroit's number 26, and Minnesota is second to last in the league, number 29. Especially now losing Jared Allen.
They don't
I don't know
have
what they're going to do.
They don't have the ball ever. Because the quarterback's no good and you're handing it to your running back. So ball possession is a big issue in that.
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
So what NFL story should we go over first? I feel like Manziel should be last because it's the juiciest, the most controversial.
Hey, let's talk about this Vernon Davis thing.
All right.
This is just a couple articles that we printed off to discuss because they're sort of more relevant. Like, for instance, this one was written up about an hour ago, I think. Vernon Davis won't lose sleep over the 49ers contract. So this is involving Vernon Davis and his contract negotiations, I guess, with the 49ers. Says Vernon Davis skips San Francisco 49ers offseason practices in the interest of developing his own brand. That doesn't... See, if I'm an owner, I'm kind of mad about that. Him just skipping some offseason practices in the interest of developing his own brand.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that means.
You're a tight end, and you're not even the best tight end in the league.
Right.
So.
As it turns out, that stance doesn't preclude the tight end from being a bipedal entity with the sense of perspective about his attempt to earn more than $4.7 million he's due this season with 2 more years remaining on his contract. And he says in a quote, "It's not the end of the world if I don't get a new contract," Davis told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution Thursday. "If I get it, that's good. It's moving slowly but surely. At the end of the day, if I don't get the deal, at least I tried and I put my foot down."
It doesn't really sound like he's trying, though.
It doesn't.
To be honest.
He's out developing his own brand.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Is he selling shoes?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like literally developing his own brand or if he's just taking time off to like relax. It could go two ways, or if he's just developing like Vernon Davis shoes or Vernon Davis
clothing brand,
clothing and perfume. I don't know.
I don't know.
And then he says he's not going to lose any sleep over the new contract. Davis falls into the Jimmy Graham, Eric Ebron camp of tight ends who believe they deserve to be compensated as hybrid wide receivers.
Jimmy Graham makes sense.
Yes, it does make sense.
Vernon Davis, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why he's mentioned with names like Jimmy Graham, Eric Ebron, but
there's not very many top tier tight ends. And yes, he is a good tight end, but he's not Jimmy Graham good.
Right.
Jimmy Graham should be a basketball player.
Yeah, he really could be with his size and height and everything.
Height, and just the way he's built. Just Vernon Davis, no.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
I just don't see him as an elite tight end. Sorry.
Yeah, no, he's
good tight. He's good.
Mean, I agree with you.
He's good.
I don't think he can really be considered elite. I mean, even a guy like like a guy on the Bears, Martellus, he's just as good as Davis. I mean, Vernon Davis might be a little better than him, but
you have problems with your quarterback not being able to show how good Martellus is, though.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Because your quarterback only looks at one guy. I talked about this last week. He only looks at one guy down
when
the
Jay Cutler went down, Josh McCown never really threw to to Vernon Davis. It was always trying to get Alshon Jeffrey involved, and I was glad he got Alshon Jeffrey involved because Alshon Jeffrey ended up having
that goes to show
ever.
that if you have a different quarterback, you have a different weapon, and that you actually do have other people other than Marshall to throw to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think it'll be a pretty good year offensively for the Bears if Jay Cutler can stay healthy, because now you don't have a backup in Josh McCown anymore. So if he goes down, so if Jay Cutler goes down again, I mean, you're going to be stuck with crap.
Back on to Vernon Davis. His attitude, I don't want him in my fantasy league.
Yeah,
he just doesn't sound like a team player. He's just in it for himself, pretty much.
Yeah, and he's skipping these off-season practices to develop his own brand. He's not, being with the team. He's not being involved at all.
Off-season practices are very important because you're getting in shape to play professional football, for one. You're getting stretched out.
Right, and you got to
take care of you.
You got to start to play with all the new players you got. Meet all the new people that are involved with the team because there's always new people every year.
So the earlier you start, the less likely it is you're going to get injured.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
The article goes on to say it's a fair point considering the evolution of football. He's talking about trying to be compensated as a hybrid wide receiver. So it's a fair point considering the evolution of football, with tight ends accounting for more production in the passing game. It's also fair to point out that Davis is responsible for signing a 6-year contract in the prime of his career, limiting his earning potential with no chance to hit the open market. The upshot for 49ers fans is that Davis's heart doesn't seem to be in a training camp holdout. We can't blame a grizzled veteran for skipping off-season workouts. We can blame him for the branding nonsense, which is what we were talking about.
Yeah, this article is by Chris Wessling for NFL.com.
Yes.
But it's your job. If I decided, I don't feel like massaging people today,
then
they wouldn't make any money.
Then they'd have a tight back. They wouldn't be able to walk.
Really? But he's a tight end, and he can decide, hey, I'm not going to work today. I'm going to go brand myself. So, great. Fantastic.
It's pretty interesting. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We have a couple more articles to talk about, including Johnny Manziel, who says he's not going to change for anybody. So we'll see.
What's new?
so we'll see how that works out for good old Cleveland.
What an arrogant you-know-what.
Yeah, and Jadeveon Clowney apparently was playing through some sort of injury in 2013. We'll tell you more about that when we come back on Fantasy Fanatics, SportsTownChicago.com.
Come back.
Welcome back to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuffridge.
I'm Freeman.
And we just, before we went to break, we read you an interesting article from NFL.com regarding Vernon Davis and his new contract negotiations. He's going to be, he wants to be considered an elite tight end along with the likes of Jimmy Graham and
he's chilling.
Some other people. And he's
chilling at the pool, branding himself.
Yep, he's making a brand of himself, and he's not necessarily working with the team like he should be.
Vernon Davis Incorporated. Snitches?
I think we're going to see that pop up soon.
Our next story is about Clowney. Playing through an injury in 2013, which does affect him this year, believe it or not.
Yes, it does. Let me get the article. Here it is. Jadeveon Clowney played through a hernia injury in 2013. It's pretty interesting.
That's pretty painful.
Yeah, that's also very painful. Jadeveon Clowney underwent hernia surgery earlier this month, a surprising setback for the number 1 overall draft pick. It turns out that Clowney struggled with the injury longer than anyone realized. So obviously, he sort of hid it from people, I guess. Clowney told NFL Media's Gil Brandt this week that he played through a hernia injury for his entire final season at South Carolina. Clowney believed at the time it was just a groin injury that he could fight through. Clowney's production fell off as a junior, and there were many questions about his effort level. The injury provides some context to his lack of production, although it's surprising we didn't hear much about it during the pre-draft process. So I guess while he was, so we never really heard about it during the whole draft process, which is pretty interesting because I feel like if some teams heard about it, I mean, I know he went number 1 overall, but I feel like some teams would have, turned their backs on him maybe if they knew about this existing injury.
Well, he's not going to start.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's also the thing,
and
too.
He can't train.
Right.
So you paid all that money for him to sit on the bench.
Who was that with the number 1 pick again? That was the Jaguars?
I thought it was Houston Texans.
Okay, yeah, I think you're right. I think it was the Houston Texans. I'm just trying to remember where Jadeveon Clowney ended up. But
yeah, Houston Texas coach Bill O'Brien has expressed
yeah.
confidence that Clowney will be ready for training camp.
Yeah, so I guess he's supposed to be ready for training camp.
But Clowney didn't sound quite as sure.
The Clowney didn't sound quite as sure Thursday in comments to NFL Media's Alex Flanagan at the NFL Rookie Symposium. That's the goal, Clowney said, of being ready for camp. Right now I'm doing good, going through all the rehab, taking it day by day. Clowney's ability to get on the field for camp is key because he's essentially learning a different position. The Texans will play Clowney at linebacker and ask him to handle a few different responsibilities than just rushing the passer. I'm pretty much out in space. I got a lot of space to work with. It's different, but it's fun, Clowney told Flanagan. You have to cover little slot receivers, tight ends, and running backs. It's just a lot going on, motioning. You just have to be alert and listen and know your assignment.
Sounds like the Houston Texans are going to have a lot of holes for the slot receivers to get through. So, spot starts, whatever slot receiver's playing against them.
Right.
You might want to spot start them.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Because you have to learn. You don't just learn a whole new position. He's been working at the same position for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, he has, and so it's going to take a while.
The NFL, it's not going to be overnight.
Yeah, it's not going to be overnight, which is why guys like Vernon Davis should be in camp.
Yeah.
Learning and
get your muscles all.
I know.
NFL ready.
So we have a story here about Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Football, my
he was
least favorite player of all time.
Drafted by the Cleveland Browns, going to be their new franchise quarterback, right? Just like Brady Quinn, just like all the other busts.
Hope his arm falls off from syphilis. But anyways.
Yeah, we just want Cleveland to keep doing bad. So Johnny Manziel, I'm not going to change for anybody, he says. Johnny Manziel feels a lot like his bosses with the Cleveland Browns. He wants to wake up on a weekend and not see a headline about himself, Johnny Manziel. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, Manziel said Friday via NFL Media's, whoever that person is.
Aditi Kinawala.
Aditi Kinkhabwala.
Yeah.
Nice name.
Sorry if we slaughtered that.
If I want to be with my friends during my free time, I have the right. Well, yeah, we know that.
Well, it's what you're doing with your friends. That's really the issue. If you want to hang with your friends, cool. But if you're going to drink and be a jerk,
yeah, and
if you're going to be like a Justin Bieber of football, that's going to cause some issues.
Yeah, don't be the Justin Bieber of football.
No one wants that.
Nobody should.
I've said it
that.
Since the first time I heard about this guy. He's not coachable.
Yeah, he doesn't seem coachable. He seems
you're
like
going to put him in an
NFL
setting where you need to be coached. This is the best players in the world playing a game that's very physical. Mm-hmm. If you're not coached and you don't know what's going on, you're going to get hurt.
Exactly.
Manziel, his head is up his fifth point of contact, as we say in the Army.
I like that term. That's a good term.
Indeed.
When asked whether he would be answering his famous money phone again anytime soon, Manziel made it clear he didn't want to address something that was in the past. He doesn't see his actions as unique among his fellow rookies.
Oh, he's unique, all right.
Yeah, he is unique. He's not like anybody else. Yeah. I'm not any different, except things get blown out of proportion sometimes, and people seem to follow me a little bit, Manziel said.
Because you're ridiculous.
Yeah. Just because of what's reported in the media or what's getting out on social media doesn't mean that's all I'm doing in my life. Just my weekends aren't what I'm doing 7 days a week. That's 2 days out of the week, and there's 5 to 6 other days that I'm here at the building going through my playbook, working out just like every other rookie is. The guy who wrote this article, Greg Rosenthal, says, it's hard to disagree. There's no reason to think Manziel's social media exploits have anything to do with his performance on the field. He's not the first young superstar quarterback with a lot of attention, but the level of nonstop coverage has ramped up in recent years.
Do you remember a quarterback being this controversial?
No, I don't. That's the thing.
Deion Sanders was the only controversial person I can think of.
Yeah,
Terrell Owens. Those guys are wide receivers, and they're like
Ocho Cinco.
They're like the actors of the NFL. They're always emotional and always crying about something.
Yeah.
Never a quarterback, though.
Yeah, who has such like a off-the-field controversy.
Off the field drinking and doing some crazy stuff that is very newsworthy.
Yeah.
I wish I could go to Vegas and just drop some money with my friends.
Drop some money and just
during
party.
some OTAs.
Yeah. Johnny Manziel, who was speaking at a Play 60 event in connection to the NFL Rookies Symposium, wants to limit his exposure by not being caught on camera so much. But that's more about media strategy. He has no desire to change his behavior. That's.
Do you know how you don't get?
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Do you know how to not get camera exposure?
Don't do things that give you camera exposure.
Don't go out.
Right.
Don't go out every weekend and drink, and it's. Everybody knows you're going to go do that, so of course the cameras are going to be waiting for you.
Right. You could just
How
have
about
a nice,
you change it up and do something different?
Have a nice, just like a party in your basement or something.
Yeah, drink at home or something, like every other teenager.
Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, he has no desire to change his behavior, but I'm not going to go change who I am for anybody. I'm growing up and continuing to learn from my mistakes and trying not to make the same ones over and over again. Sounds like a broken record to me.
Yeah.
Manziel said, But I am going to, but am I going to live in a shell, or am I just going to hide from everybody and not do anything? I don't think that's the way I should live my life, and I'm not going to do that. I am here. I am very committed to football. I'm committed to my job, but on the weekends, I'm going to enjoy my time off. I mean, I think I deserve it. Ooh,
yeah,
that's a strong statement there.
One of those guys.
He thinks he deserves it. So
I've earned the right.
Yeah.
To hang out. I'm entitled to my friends and hanging out and having fun. I'm entitled to being a quarterback in the NFL. That's right.
I guess. I mean, he could just. I mean, hey, if he performs well, then that's good. But I don't think a lot of people think he's going to perform well. That's the thing. There's too much controversy.
I'm excited for preseason. Let's just say that. I'm excited for preseason and watching him.
Yeah, I am too.
That's one thing about it. He really knows how to get attention on him. Like, everybody wants to see how he does in the NFL.
Right.
Some people are rooting for him. Some people are just hoping he gets hit real hard, like me.
Yeah. We're going to take an update, and then we're going to come back and talk a little bit. We do have a fantasy football league that we have started, so we're going to tell you all about that when we come back after this update.
Bam! Yeah.
Welcome back to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuppridge.
I'm Andrew Freeman.
And we do have a new fantasy league for our show.
True that.
Of course, we have our baseball league, and we'll talk about that soon. But, why don't you tell the people a little bit about our fantasy football league?
We have a 12-man league happening. The draft date is August 1st. Anyone interested in getting drafted or being part of this league, tweet me at Freeman Radio or tweet Mr. Stuppridge.
At Ryan Stuppridge. And it'll be it'll be our ESPN league, just like fantasy baseball, and
snake draft,
and it should be a lot of fun. Hopefully, I mean, if you end up having the number one pick, do you take Adrian Peterson like everyone tells you to, or who do you take?
Absolutely not. I completely agree with you last week when you said Jamal Charles.
Right.
I'm totally 100% down with that.
Yeah, so whoever gets the number one pick, hopefully, if it's not us, hopefully the person in front, like for instance, if you have the second pick, you could still end up with Jamal Charles because the person in front of you might take Adrian Peterson.
It's true.
The problem with Adrian Peterson, he doesn't really have a team around him to.
He is the team right now. Yeah. Teddy Bridgewater's the quarterback now.
Teddy Bridgewater will be the quarterback.
Fingers crossed that he does well. I like Teddy, so we said that last week and the week before that.
Yeah. Let's see. We got a little time before break. Let's check our scores for our fantasy baseball league. Just real quick to see how we're doing in that league. I know I'm beating you by a lot.
Yes, let's get into that. I am getting destroyed by Mr. Stupbridge. Whopping score of 89.5, a league low to Mr. Stupbridge's 209 points. Get down with the Kipnis is going against the Great Gaddis. Kipnis has 160 points. The Great Gaddis has 247.5. So get down with Kipnis is getting beaten down.
He's getting
Shinner
down.
Squad, yep. Shinner Squad is playing 162-0. Shinner Squad it's a close matchup, 212 to 164. Coco and Company, very close race here with your brother, San Jose Wombats. Coco and Company has 179 points. San Jose Wombats has 195. That's just a home run away from being even.
Yeah.
I Like Stanton Girls is getting actually pretty badly beaten by Nashville Conquerors. Let's see if the Conquerors
That is like the surprise of
That
the week,
is.
along with mine. But other than that, like that's the surprise.
You could take the lead in 1 week.
right.
If
And
I Like Stanton Girls, if this holds up and I Like Stanton Girls gets beaten and I get beaten,
then I will.
we'll
be
both
first.
be 8-5 and you'll be the only one at 9-4.
Yeah, and that's because of course this week you, me, and I Like Staten Island Girls were all tied for first.
Yes.
As far as the record goes, but yeah.
What
Wow.
a swing of events.
I know, and it's getting down towards all-star breaks happening in I think 2 weeks.
That's the halfway point, and then
yeah, and then after that you really have to push it to go all the
you
way.
really have to keep on that waiver wire to really keep your team alive,
Yeah,
which I did today,
but
or yesterday actually.
we will take a break and come back and talk to you about our pitching matchups. We're going to go over some of them during break. We're going to tell you how we did last week as well, and we're going to pick some of the big important games live on the air here on SportsTownChicago.com. It's Fantasy Fanatics.
.com.
Winners.
I did it. I won. Yes.
Losers.
I never win anything.
Welcome back to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stupbridge.
And I'm Andrew Freeman, and Baltimore doesn't have to worry anymore. Reliever Boxberger is in.
Yes, the very, very good, because I've heard of him so many times.
The Boxberger is going to pulverize them and
Yeah.
put buns around that D.
Before we get into the pitching matchups for today, let's just quickly go over a couple of the weeks ago. The first time we did this, at least the first time I wrote down who won, that's when we had Nick Swinky here, and he won 7-6
Yes.
for this.
I got edged out of that one.
Yeah.
But I'm 2-1 otherwise.
And last week, Andrew won 6-4 against me. And now let's go over last week's to see who won. I'm excited to see. There was the Pirates at Cubs, and that was Edwin Jackson versus Charlie Morton. Andrew picked Charlie Morton. I picked Edwin Jackson, and Edwin Jackson did get the win that day. That's one of his only wins that he's got.
Gosh darn it.
So,
I always go with Morton.
yeah, for the time being, I'm up 1-0. Atlanta Braves at Washington. This ended up being a no decision, so no points. Baltimore at New York was also a no decision. I think that was the day Carlos Beltran hit a walk-off home run. The Tigers at the Indians. Rick Porcello versus Corey Kluber. I went with Corey Kluber. Andrew went with Rick Porcello, and Rick Porcello did get the win.
Yeah.
So tied it up.
Tied it up.
Houston at Tampa Bay. Jared Cosart against David Price. You went with David Price. I went with Jared Cosart, and yeah, Jared Cosart got the win.
Oh, my gosh.
It's pretty surprising. But,
Price is garbage this year.
yeah, he really. They definitely should think about trading him.
It's too late.
It might be too late. That's the problem.
I mean, they're not going to get much for him at this point.
Right. Mets at Marlins. Daisuke Matsuzaka versus Henderson Alvarez. You went with Daisuke Matsuzaka. I went with Henderson Alvarez, and Henderson Alvarez got the win.
What the heck?
So I'm up 3-1. You're only down by 2.
Matsuzaku.
Blue Jays at Cincinnati Reds. That was Liam Hendricks versus Matt Latos. And that ended up being a no decision, actually. Chicago White Sox and Minnesota Twins, that was also a no decision. Seattle Mariners and Kansas City was also a no decision.
It's looking bleak for me right now.
But the Phillies at the Cardinals, it was A.J. Burnett versus Jaime Garcia. Andrew picked Jaime Garcia. I picked A.J. Burnett, and A.J. Burnett got the win.
Oh, I just lost.
So, yeah. I mean, I had a bad week last week during this, but, yeah, you're having a bad week this week during this.
It's horrible.
Milwaukee at Colorado. We both picked Marco Estrada, and he did win, so we both get a point. So the score is 5-2. Let's see, Giants at Diamondbacks. Tim Lincecum versus Josh Collmenter. We both picked Josh Collmenter, and he got the win, so we both get another point.
This isn't helping me.
No, it's not helping you.
3-6.
Boston Red Sox at Oakland. That ended up being a no decision. And we got 2 games left. And it was the Texas Rangers at the Angels. We both picked Garrett Richards, and he lost, so no points. And the last game, Dodgers at Padres, was a no decision. That was Dan Herron versus Ian Kennedy. So, yeah.
Well, congrats to you for the victory.
The final score was I won 6-3. So, yeah, that's that. But I wouldn't be too worried about it, Andrew.
I'm horribly worried. I'm 2 for 2 now. What are you? 1 and...
Well, this was my first actual win.
First win, so you're 1 and 3 or something like that.
Yeah, I think 1 and 3. I'm not really sure, but
what a horrible day.
Now we during the break, to save time, we went over some of the pitching matchups over the day. Obviously, we're not doing the one that's going on right now because it started before our show started, and that was Baltimore and Tampa Bay. I wasn't even aware that they had a game this afternoon and that they had a doubleheader, but I guess they do. So the nightcap of that game will be Odorizzi versus Tillman, and that's Tampa Bay and Baltimore. This is in Baltimore. Andrew picked Odorizzi, and I picked Tillman.
I always pick Overeasy. It's my boy.
Eggs over easy, right?
Yep.
In about 15 minutes, you're going to have the Cubs and Nationals playing, so we're going to pick that right here for you. Tanner Roark versus Jason Hamill. Tanner Roark is 7-4 with a 2.79 ERA, and Jason Hamill is 6-5 with a 2.99 ERA.
I am loving the Cubs. They're destroying people.
They really have played well, yeah.
They played very well, and I'm going to keep on this streak and go with Hamill. You're
going to go with Hamill? I'm going to... Boy, this is tough because I have both of these pitchers in my fantasy league. So, I mean, I want them both to do well, but, I'm going to go with Tanner Roark because the Nationals lost yesterday. I don't think they'll lose 2 in a row to the Cubs. So Andrew's going with Hamill. I'm going with Tanner Roark. Okay, we have Atlanta at Philadelphia. That's Julio Teheran versus Kyle Kendrick. Who do you have in that game?
I'm going with my guy, Teheran.
Yeah. I'm going to also go with Teheran. I think he's going to win.
Rocking an ERA of 2.41.
He's definitely been the best guy on the Braves. He's definitely been the best pitcher on the Braves this year.
Even though he's 6-5.
Yeah, he is 6-5, but hey, he's still doing pretty well. Boston at New York. The famous rivalry is back this weekend. You got Workman versus Nuno. Bunch of no-name guys pitching tonight for them. Workman is 1-0 with a 2.88 ERA, so he's done well. And Nuno is 1-4 with a almost 6 ERA, and they are in New York.
I'm gonna go with Workman, man.
You're gonna go with Workman?
Boston's been doing really good lately.
They have been. I'm going, and the Yankees and Boston are only separated by 4 games, by the way. So whoever, if somebody sweeps somebody, they can really gain some ground. I'm going to go with Nuno, and Andrew went with Workman. Okay. Mets at Pittsburgh. We already picked this one. We both went with DeGrom for the Mets. He's facing Compton on the Pirates, but we both went with DeGrom. White Sox and Blue Jays. We got John Danks versus R.A. Dickey. John Danks is 6-6 with a 4.34 ERA. R.A. Dickey is also 6-6 with a 4.04 ERA. So they both have done about the same.
Yeah, I would say Toronto. I'm just going to go with the team Toronto because it's the Chicago White Sox.
I feel like R.A. Dickey could also shut down a team like the White Sox.
Yeah.
So I'm also going with R.A. Dickey.
Toronto just has hot bats.
Yeah. Oakland and Miami. We both picked Jesse Chavez to beat D. Schiaffani, who has been horrible for the Marlins.
7.59 ERA. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That's not good.
Twins and Texas. We got Kevin Correa against Nick Tepesh. We both picked Nick Tepesh. He is 2-3 with a 4.38 ERA. Colorado and Milwaukee. We got Matzik against Kyle Loesch, and this is in Milwaukee. And I think Milwaukee won last night, so they already have a 1-0 series lead. Who are you going to go with?
I'm going with Matzik.
Matzik, really?
Loesch is on the slide, man.
That's
if you've
true.
looked at his last 5 games, it just seems to be not going well for him.
And Colorado is a huge offensive team. They usually seem to hit anyone they play against. But I'm still going to go with Kyle Loesch, and we'll see what happens there. Detroit and Houston, we got Verlander versus Peacock. And Andrew picked Verlander. I'm going to go with Peacock. Definitely an underdog still going into this game because Verlander hasn't been on his game this year. But, I went with Peacock, and Andrew went with Verlander. Angels in Kansas City, we got Shoemaker, who has been very well this year against Vargas. Shoemaker's 5-1 with a 3.24 ERA. Jason Vargas is 7-3 with a 3.16 ERA. Who do you think is going to win this one?
Oh, it's tough. Probably going to go with Vargas.
I'm going to go with Shoemaker. So we definitely got a lot of. So we definitely have more opinion ones on here, as far as we're not going really with the same people. Arizona and San Diego, that's Brandon McCarthy versus Tyson Ross. We both picked Tyson Ross for this one. Cleveland and Seattle, you got Trevor Bauer against Chris Young, I believe is his name. That's for Seattle. Who do you have in this game?
I'm going to go with Seattle, Young.
Okay. I'm going to also go with Seattle and Young. St. Louis at the Dodgers. You got Martinez.
This is too easy of a call. I'm going to go with Ryu.
You got Martinez and Ryu. I'm going to go with Ryu as well. And also because I don't like the Cardinals. The Reds and San Francisco. Johnny Cueto, Madison Bumgarner. Great pitching matchup.
It's a great pitching matchup. Cueto has an unbelievable 1.86 ERA.
This one really is a toss-up.
He's surprisingly 7-5, which shows that Cincinnati, run-wise, hasn't been doing that well of late. But I'm still going to go with Cueto.
You're going to go with Cueto?
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go with Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah, San Francisco's a great team.
They are
a good pick.
They're fighting with Milwaukee for the best record in the National League.
Yeah,
which is also surprising that Milwaukee's even considered to have one of the best records in the National League.
Yeah, they're doing really good pitching wise.
Yeah,
I mean, Laus is like their third pitcher,
right? And he's
like 9-2 or something like that.
Yeah, he's definitely doing really good. So yeah, next Friday will actually be off, but the Friday after that we will go over those matchups and tell you how they did.
Next Friday is July 4th. Well,
yes,
not
Independence
exactly.
Day. Are you doing anything special for July 4th?
It's my dad's birthday. He'll be in town.
Oh, his birthday
is on July 4th.
Is on July 4th? That's pretty cool. Yeah. My birthday is actually a month after July 4th. August 4th is my birthday.
Nice. My sister's is August 16th. So you guys 16th. Are both whatever the August babies are called.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I know I'm a Scorpio. I have no idea what August is, though.
I think it's like from late July to mid-September or something is a certain one. I think I'm a Leo or something.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I have no clue.
If you do know, call 630-403-5200.
Yeah, if you want to tell us your sign.
And you can also read my palm and spit in a bowl and read that, too. I don't know. Tea leaves. I don't know.
We still have an hour to go here on our show. We did a little bit of a slower a little bit of a shorter football thing because there hasn't been a whole lot of news coming out yet.
Pouncey's big news.
Yeah, the Pouncey thing's big news. I didn't quite get to that. Can you tell a little bit about what's going on with Pouncey?
I know he has a huge injury and he's going to be out for most of the season.
Right, so don't draft him.
He can't because he's on the O-line.
Right, yeah, oh yeah, he's that's right.
Or is
what
he
am I
on the
talking about?
D-line? I don't know. I don't know his position.
But yeah, that's definitely a big name that went down.
Miami's not going to be doing too good this year.
No, and I don't understand why Ryan Tannehill is their starter.
Hey, man, I don't know either. I won't draft him or anyone on the team.
Yeah.
Hartline's good for a few games, but at the end he flatlines. Oh, but ching. So, yeah, that's just a non-draft team.
I know. Yeah, so when we come back, we'll talk to you a little bit more about baseball, and then later on in the show, for our little Chicago segment, we're going to talk a little bit about the Doug McDermott trade to Chicago. You know, he was drafted by Denver, and then he ended up being on the Bulls. So we'll tell you how all that went down a little later on in the show, but for now we're going to go to break. You're listening to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Stuffridge.
And now it's time for Fantasy Fanatics.
Welcome to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuppridge.
I'm Andrew Freeman. Baltimore is surging thanks to the help of relief pitcher Box and a burger. He's really helping out. They're surging. Now it's 2-5 instead of 1-5. Thank you, Box Burger. You're the man. So, a lot of big moves.
Yeah, there has been.
A lot of movement in our league, and we're going to talk about if it was a good idea or a bad idea. Now, my team got kind of stale this week. I'm the lowest scoring team, even though I'm the number one team in the league. Kind of.
Yeah, well, I mean...
I like Staten Island Girls has me in points, but we're tied in wins-losses.
Yeah.
Record. But Windy City dropped Gregory Polanco for the very hot J.D. Martinez. Very hot.
Yeah, that's a pretty good move, I'd say. I think I think J.D. Martinez will keep it up.
He already has a first baseman that's pretty good. He dropped Polanco. J.D. Martinez is batting .310, and he's been double digits 8 of his last 10 games.
Does he have a hit streak going, or
Let's
no?
see here.
I know at
He
one
ended
point
his
he
hit
did.
streak yesterday. He went 0 for 4, but he still got points because he got an RBI.
All right, yeah.
So he is doing really good, actually. Yeah,
he definitely is. I know his point totals have been like 16, 14, 20.
But available is Gregory Polanco in our league, who is a very good first baseman. He's batting in the 300s.
Yeah, I haven't changed my offense up a whole lot. I'm thinking about dropping Jason Worth. He's not really been that good. There was something I saw. He was like before a few nights ago. He was like 3 for 37 or something. And then
what position does he play? We could talk about.
He's a right fielder.
Who you could replace him with?
Yeah, I mean he's a right fielder. So I'm sure there's probably some good right field options in our league. Yeah. But I haven't changed my league up that much. I've changed up some stuff, but just not a whole lot.
I mean, you're not going to want to pick up Marlon Byrd.
No.
But Nick Markakis has Cole Calhoun.
Cole Calhoun, I kind of like him. Yeah.
Cole Calhoun, who's 27 of 81 these last 30 days, and he has 150 points this last month.
Right.
So that's a decent pickup for right field.
Yeah.
And then other movements in our league. Windy City also dropped Rick Porcello for Matt Shoemaker, which Porcello did go kind of cold there. And Shoemaker's kind of the hot hand in L.A.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, as far as the Tigers go, I mean, you still want their pitchers. Maybe not Verlander. He's really had a bad season. But
I just dropped Laus from Milwaukee.
You did? Okay.
I dropped him, and I'll get to that later. Tennessee, Nashville Conquerors dropped Homer Bailey and picked up Billy Hamilton.
Wow. Dropping a pitcher for a hitter.
Billy Hamilton is, what position does he play? He's a center fielder.
Yeah, he's a center fielder.
There's a lot of
the
center
fastest
fielders
guy.
out there to pick up, though.
Yeah, there is.
I don't know if I agree with this.
I'm not sure if you should get rid of a. I'm not sure if you should add him because, I mean, he's already probably got a center fielder, right? Because he dropped.
He ended up
pitcher.
dropping Billy Hamilton for Wilson Ramos.
Okay, so that's what he did. Yeah, Wilson Ramos should be back soon. I didn't think Wilson Ramos was healthy. I thought he was in the minors, rehabbing something.
Wilson
Maybe not, he might
Ramos
be
has
back.
played 2 games now. He's playing.
Okay, so he's back.
He went 2 for 3 his first day back against Chicago, but Chicago still won.
Right.
He's 0 for 0 right now.
Yeah, because the game will be starting.
I revamped most of my team. I dropped Josh Willingham, who's at a stagnant 259 batting average, and I picked up Corey Dickerson.
Cool.
Corey Dickerson is doing really good right now. Thank you. I dropped John Jaso, who's also stagnant, not doing very good. Picked up Devin Masarako.
Yeah, that was a good move, I thought.
Dropped Kyle Laus, and you might not agree with this. I picked up Jesse Hahn.
Yeah, I don't know if you should have gotten rid of Loesch like that. I understand he's kind of on a cold streak. He hasn't been doing that well.
He got a loss with negative 11.5 points, and then got a no
man.
decision with
That's tough.
14 points, and then got a win with 8, and then got a win with 0.5.
That 11.5.
Negative
Take-
11.5. He had 8 errors. In his last
Was that last week?
Yeah.
Okay.
In his last 5 games, he's had, let's see here, 12 errors? No, more than that. 14 errors.
Jeez.
In his last 4 starts.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So that's why I decided to drop him. And the reason I picked up Mr. Hahn, take a look at Hahn. Hahn has 3 wins in his last 3 games. He has only allowed 6 errors in his last 4 games, and he has struck out 27. He's 3 for 1 in his last 4 games.
Wow.
So that's why I picked up Jesse. He's playing for San Diego. He's doing all right.
Yeah.
ERA of a 2.38.
Yeah, wow.
So my team just went bad. Went from being top dog to being stinky, just bad. My pitching, literally, the day Laos went negative 11.5, Tim Hudson went negative 15.
Oh, my God.
That's why I lost last week.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And I came back.
There's got to be some sort of reason why you lost.
It was
but-
270 to 310. I came back.
Yeah.
It was way worse than that. But then this week, my batters aren't hitting, so I got rid of like 3 of them. And my pitchers aren't pitching very well. When you win and you get 0.5 points, it doesn't help me.
No, it doesn't.
So I picked up Jesse Hahn, got rid of Los, and I picked up pretty much all of Colorado's batting.
Which isn't a bad idea. I mean, I know they are facing Milwaukee this weekend, so it's going to be a little tough to score runs, but they're still a very good hitting team.
Yeah. So that's my thought process.
Maybe you should
behind
change
that.
your name back to the Colorado
Yeah,
Rockies.
exactly. Since most of my team are Rockies.
Let's take a look at some of the available free agents in our league, just sort of the best people available, in case if anyone in our league is listening. Although, I mean, besides them, I mean, me and Andrew are listening and looking. So,
do you want to know stats for this month? Who's hot this month to pick up? Or?
yeah, that's probably a good thing to
At
do.
the number 1 positions, third base is Aramis Ramirez. He has 185 points this month.
Wow.
Good pickup. He's 29 for 80, 6 home runs, 19 RBIs just in this month.
Yeah, he's having a really good month.
Then Lucas Duda is number 2. I'd probably just ignore that because he's going to go back to being cold.
Yeah.
Name I've never heard of before, Scooter Jeanette.
Scooter Jeanette, the second baseman for the Milwaukee Brewers. Yeah.
He's 32 for 80. He has 4 home runs, 11 doubles.
11 doubles.
Just in
really
this month, and 14 RBIs. So that's a good pickup for second base.
11 doubles in a month for Scooter Jeanette. That's good.
Josh Willingham, he's number 4, but once again, these last 2 weeks, this month he's hot, but these last 2 weeks, not so much. Batting .259.
Yeah, because he was hitting home runs like crazy.
Yeah.
Now he's sort of falling back down.
This month alone, he's hit 7 home runs. And he had 22 RBIs, but he went stagnant, like I said, very, very quickly. He was batting .300, now he's batting .259. So just in these last 2 weeks, these last 30, good. But if I go to the last 15, take a look here. Last 15, he's not even in the top 10.
Wow.
He dropped very, very far down.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Aramis Ramirez has stuck with it. He's still number 1 with only the last 15 days. So you cut the month in half, and Aramis Ramirez is having a very good month.
Yeah, and he was injured, too, and he came back, and now he's playing, and, yeah, he's doing really well for Milwaukee.
Cole Calhoun is available in our league. I would, if I needed a right fielder, I have Hunter Pence, and I have another good right fielder. Can't remember the name. But if you needed a right fielder, I would go with Cole Calhoun.
Yeah, I might do that. I'm thinking about it. I'll have to see how Worth does this series against the Cubs. Because if you can't turn it around with the Cubs, then you might have a problem.
I mean, the Cubs are actually turning out to be a pretty good team this year. But
well, the problem was they were doing really well. They won 3 straight series, and then they just lost their last 2 series. They lost against Cincinnati, and before that, I think they played. Man, who did they play? Not Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, maybe.
Yeah,
I'm not
they're
quite
always
sure.
playing Pittsburgh, so I'd go with that.
Yeah, well, they're in their division too.
Adam LaRoche, for first baseman, I'd pick up Adam LaRoche. He just hit a home run like 3 days ago against Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
He's a power hitter. He only has 3 home runs in the last 30 days, though.
He was injured for a lot of the season. That's part of the reason.
That's pretty good then. If you have 3 home runs and 16 RBIs in your last 30 days and you're injured some of that month. Adam LaRoche is one of the hottest bats on Washington right now, playing for the Nationals.
Yeah.
Josh Harrison is available for Pittsburgh, right field, second base, and third base. So you can fill a lot of spots. Dexter Fowler is available. He's a center fielder. I don't like his batting average, so I wouldn't pick him up.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd pick him up.
We'll go to the pitching. All right, let's look at pitchers. Leading 5-0 this month, Bartolo Colon.
Yeah, I mean, how big of a surprise is that? Bartolo Colon has continued to pitch very well.
34 strikeouts, 8 walks, 7 errors. That's impressive. 7 errors?
Yeah.
But the one thing that tells me it's not going to last is the 31 hits.
So he's given up a lot of hits, yeah.
Yeah, but it's less than innings played, so that's good.
Yeah, you always want to make sure it's less than innings played. A lot of times
Someone
that
cutting it
determines.
close is Jared Corsart, who has 39.2 innings played with 38 hits. 38 hits, 11 errors.
Wow.
Tim Lincecum got the complete game no-hitter shutout, but he's 2 for 2 with only 27 strikeouts, and he has 17 errors, leading
That's a little too much.
leading all the pitchers with errors for the month.
Yeah.
Then down a little bit, we have Kyle Loesch, which I dropped. He's 3 for 1. He has 14 errors, 27 hits. out of 33 innings. So he's doing pretty good, but he was in a downfall. He was not doing good.
We are going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, talk to you a little bit more about baseball, and then later on in the show, we're going to go over some of the Cubs and Sox news along with the Bulls getting Doug McDermott. And we'll play the 7th inning stretch for you, too, a little later on. So you're listening to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. We'll be back. Welcome back to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuffridge.
I'm Andrew Freeman.
And the Cubs and Nationals are underway. There's been 2 day games today now. The Cubs, well, it was sort of an afternoon game, but the other game before that was the Rays and the Orioles. And who won that game?
It's bottom of the 9th, I believe. Tampa Bay will take this game.
It's 5-2 still?
It is still 5-2. Boxberger didn't cut it. So I guess you can send him back to the AAAs.
Yeah, go ahead and send him back to the no-name place.
No reason to wear your rally caps anymore, Baltimore.
And the Cubs and Nationals are underway. It's Jason Hamill versus Tanner Roark.
They both exchanged an inning, scoreless innings, I might add. Right now at 0-0, Chicago. Oh, actually, Rizzo just singled to left center.
He's been so hot, too.
He has.
He's really been really good. He's put together.
Him and Castro, man, put together. They've just been. That's why they're winning so much.
Yeah, and that's what we want to see. Obviously, everybody wants to see Castro and Rizzo do good because those are your 2 main guys. Those are the 2 guys that have been with the team since the whole Theo Epstein takeover.
And where has Ruggiano been, man?
Ruggiano was hurt for a while. But he hasn't.
He showed up in a big way the other day.
Yeah, he did.
Happy he's back.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy he's back too. And the other guy that's back is Ryan Sweeney. Sweeney was injured, but he's back, and he came back right when Emilio Bonifacio got hurt and is on the DL. So it sort of worked out, I guess. But Sweeney hasn't been that good since he's come back.
Bonifacio needed a break anyway.
Yeah, he needed a little bit of a break. He was definitely he definitely cooled off tremendously.
Oh yeah.
Before it was pretty cool when he was batting .500. But now,
for that first
down
2-3 weeks, he was just on fire.
I know.
But the Cubs are looking good.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they've been doing still as good as they have been lately. They're still, I think, 11 games under 500 because they had such a horrible April and May. But their June has definitely looked pretty good. They have one of the best records in the National League in the month of June. I think they might have the best record in June. So they're doing
First
pretty good.
First inning ended 0-0.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, a couple of guys that they want to trade, Jason Hamill and Jeff Samardzija. I'm assuming they'll both be traded by the trade deadline, or on the trade deadline day, July 31st.
The Cubs always do that, though.
Yeah,
they get rid of their best pitchers.
They're getting rid of their best pitchers for prospects and everything.
But you have enough prospects. We have one of the best farm leagues.
Yeah, they'll probably be looking for arms. I mean, our offense in the minors is there, but as far as other things go, we could definitely use some more arms, some more relievers.
I just don't think you should get rid of your 2 best pitchers, even though Samardzija hasn't been doing good this year.
Yeah, he started off really good. He hasn't been doing too good of late.
Keep Hamill.
Yeah, I mean, if you can, I would, but I mean, a lot of people are probably going to be asking for Hamill now, which I don't think the Cubs expected.
You know what the issue with the Cubs is we don't have a reliever, really.
Yeah, I know.
I think we'd win a lot more games if you just spent some money on a relief pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, either
whatever his name
or,
is was supposed to be that guy, but
right. I mean, either that or have a couple more people come up from the farm system. Because, I mean, they have somebody, and he's been their best reliever all year, Neil Ramirez, and he came from AAA Iowa. If you get a couple guys from Iowa, then you'd probably be in a lot more of a safe situation if you're trying to save a game or something.
But I see what they're doing. They're trying to make cap room.
Yep.
So
They're trying to make cap room because when they're good and they just need that one extra piece, they'll have enough money to sign that guy to a 1-year contract. You'll have either a bat or a starter, a big ace. Jeff Samardzija could possibly be back in a couple years. Even if he leaves the team in July, he could always be back. Jason Hamill could always be back. Jake Arrieta, I think, is a guy that the Cubs are going to keep. He's been really good this year. He had a perfect game going into the 7th inning earlier this week against the Cincinnati Reds. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, he's done really well. Travis Wood hasn't had that good of a season, but the Cubs are going to keep him for as long as they can. Edwin Jackson, of course, that was the dumb signing that that was the worst move that Theo Epstein's made so far, and he hasn't made really any bad moves, but that was the bad move. Like, if I could pinpoint the one bad move that Theo Epstein made since he came to the Cubs in, what was it, October 2009 or whatever, I'd say it would be signing Edwin Jackson when you could have given the same amount of money to Matt Garza.
Matt Garza, I mean, he's doing okay this year.
Yeah,
He's doing way better than Edwin Jackson.
Yeah, he's better than Edwin Jackson. That's the thing. And
I mean, what do you want to put your money on? You want to put your money on Edwin Jackson, or would you rather have I'd rather have Garza.
I would rather have Garza. Garza might have cost a little more money than Edwin Jackson, but they paid Edwin Jackson way too much money. I think this is a 3 or 4 year contract. I'm not sure exactly what the numbers are for his contract, but it's somewhere 40-something million.
Yeah.
It's something that Edwin Jackson does not deserve.
And then, did you hear the story that Darwin Barney wants to stay a Cub?
I didn't hear that, but it doesn't surprise me. He's not good enough to go anywhere else, so it doesn't surprise me. I mean, sure, he'll be on the Cubs bench when they're good, possibly, but
he's batting like a 220 lifetime.
Yeah, he's not good.
They should have traded him when he had the Golden Glove.
Yeah, I'm
would
sure
have traded high.
I'm sure somebody could have taken him for the Golden Glove and
back when he had a 240 batting average,
and he was able to get on
top
base.
Defensive, yeah. You could have traded him high and got something a little bit better, the pitching area.
I mean, ideally, you're going to want your Cubs starters when they're good. You're going to want Rizzo at first. You're going to have Castro probably at second base. He can play second base. Javier Baez, shortstop. Chris Bryant at third base. In your outfield, if Mike Olt could start to get it together and have a good season, because he's not doing good, he's turning into a bust. I really hope it doesn't end up being that way. He might need to be sent down and have some more work done in AAA or AA.
How's Lake doing?
Lake's doing all right. He's definitely turned it around. He's somebody that they want to have there, but you never really know. But
when we went to the game, what was it, May?
I think it might have been still April. But yeah, I know.
When we went to the game,
Lake hit a bomb.
Olt and Lake both had .75 batting averages.
Yeah, and they both hit home runs that game too, which is crazy. But yeah, Olt's definitely not doing that good. But you're going to want eventually. You have guys like Jorge Soler who can play outfield. Al Alcantara or whatever his name is going to be out there. Emilio Bonifacio won't be there. Sweeney could possibly stay. Ruggiano will be gone when they're good. He only signed a 1-year deal.
Sweeney's a veteran, and he barely plays.
Yeah. He's playing more now. He's playing more now than he was.
I wish he played like Morano.
Yeah, I know. Is he starting today, by the way?
Yeah.
Ryan Sweeney?
He is.
Okay. Yeah,
he was on the batting.
Okay. Yeah, hopefully he can turn around. And then you got Wellington Castillo as your catcher, who I'm glad he's back from the DL. I think the Cubs could use a spark like him. He's
losing.
Yeah, he's supposed to be good. Are the Cubs losing?
Zimmerman just hit a double.
Ryan Zimmerman hit a double. Any idea who scored?
LaRoche, the guy I was talking about.
LaRoche scored.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. What are you going to do? That's Jason Hamill versus Tanner Rourke, who have both been really well.
So you're at -2 for pitching because Tanner Rourke only has .5.
Okay.
Jason Hamill has.
Yeah, it'll all even out, I'm hoping.
Fingers crossed, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to do an update real quick, and then we'll take a break and come back and talk to you about the Bulls as well as some Cubs and Sox. But the Bulls and how they got Doug McDermott, and a little bit of a recap of the NBA draft of just some of the key players that were in there. But right now, an update. At
Let me hear you! Going loud! R1, R2, R3. Take me out to the lobby. Take me out to the lobby. Find something to say back to back. I don't care if I ever live back home through. We'll root for the party. If they don't win, it's a shame. Oh, it's one, two, three strikes you're out. We all game. Hey! Let's get some run!
If you were a hot dog and you were starving, would you eat yourself? What? I know I would. First, I'd smother myself with brown mustard and relish. I'd be so delicious. So would you?
I don't know.
Don't jerk me around, Norm. It's a simple question. A baby could answer it. If you were a hot dog and you were starving, would you eat yourself?
I guess so.
Oh, you made a wise choice, my friend.
It's the Hometown Breakdown.
Chicago Cubs, Sox, Bears, and Bulls.
Welcome back. Yes, Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. This is coming down to the home stretch here. I'm Ryan Stuppridge.
I'm Andrew Freeman, and that was the late and great, the man, the myth, the legend, Harry Carey.
Yes. That never gets old, that
Never.
hot dog bit.
I love it. Would you eat yourself if you were a hot dog? I probably would. I'm starving right now.
I'm pretty hungry, too.
I'll
I
probably
got
nibble on something.
a sandwich in my backpack that I'm going to eat after the show.
Delicious.
But, this is the Hometown Breakdown part of the show.
Yeah, we've already been kind of diving into the Cubs and where we think they're headed and what we think they should do next. But what about them White Sox? Where have they gone?
Well,
I have not heard about the White Sox.
They have completely disappeared from existence in the Major League Baseball world.
They're worse than the Cubs? Is that what I'm hearing?
They do have more losses than the Cubs, I believe.
Oh,
yes.
my.
Which,
could that be 2 years in a row?
Sox
That'd
fans,
be amazing.
Sox fans are probably really upset about that because they thought they were going to have a good year. They thought they were going to have a good season.
You still have Adam Dunn on your team. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's the issue. I mean, sure,
there's some other issues, but
that's the big issue there.
if all you have is a bunch of guys that strike out, like Vecito, Dunn, I mean, you need
Alejandro
guys.
De Aza can't hit a ball he wouldn't be able to hit a ball if he had the best eyes in the world.
You need someone to make contact.
Yeah.
Somebody.
There's
There's no one there.
Flowers was batting well. That's gone down now.
Flowers is the man. I don't care what you say.
He's still the best hitting catcher in baseball.
That's right.
Not Buster Posey, not Jonathan Lucroy.
Or J.D. Martinez.
Yeah,
who's
not
really.
not J.D. Martinez, who's like
who's really on fire right now.
Yeah.
It's all about Flowers.
But yeah, the White Sox, they were doing really well. Here's what happened to them. They played that 4-game series with Detroit
Yes.
at U.S. Cellular Field, and the Sox won the first two. I think they had a rain out on a Tuesday night there, but they won on a Monday and they won on a Wednesday. Then you go Thursday, and Thursday Max Scherzer threw that complete game shutout, and he shut out the Sox 4-0. Okay, so Sox still won that series. Sox were, I think, 3.5, 2.5 back, maybe. I think they were 2.5 back then. And then after that, it just all went downhill. They played Minnesota, lost all 4 games to Minnesota, all one-run games too, a lot of them being bullpen blunders. Then you played Kansas City, and you got swept. I think maybe you won 1 game against Kansas City, but you lost the series against Kansas City. Then you play Baltimore. You lose on a walk-off home run to Chris Davis. You give up a tying grand slam to Nelson Cruz a couple games later, and the Sox lost that game in like 12 or 13 innings, 5-4, something like that. I think they might have got swept by Baltimore. I think they might have won a game, actually. And now you're playing Toronto for another tough 4-game series in Toronto. You just lost the first game 7-0, got blanked. Tonight seems like it's going to be about the same thing. R.A. Dickey versus John Danks. They have about the same numbers this year, but R.A. Dickey, I feel like he could shut a team down.
Pitching-wise,
like
they might have the
Sox.
same numbers, but when it comes to batting, I don't think so.
When it comes to batting,
I do not think so.
It could definitely be another 9-0 win for Toronto. Something like that. I could see Edwin Encarnacion hitting 2 home runs.
Who's been on fire? Edwin.
Oh yeah,
huge month of June. Huge.
Yeah, he was leading the American League in home runs.
Well, when you get 12 home runs in 1 month, that's kind of, I would say so.
Yeah, you're definitely going to be. I mean, you're definitely going to have some problems.
Not to give the White Sox any excuses, though. They have had some major injury issues.
Well, and the thing that I find odd is that the Sox refuse to start the rebuilding process.
No, they won't do it.
And
the crazy thing is they got rid of their relief pitcher,
Sergio Santos, yes.
Who's awesome. Awesome. But now he's got
rid of your great closer in Addison Reed. I understand you got Adam Eaton, so I do agree with that too.
Addison Reed, who used to be with the Cubs.
Yeah, because Adam Eaton has been a really good key this year to the White Sox. He's been one of the only good bright spots.
Once again, he strikes out.
Yeah, he strikes out. Most of the Sox team strikes out.
You have 4 or 5 power hitters, but no one that makes contact, like an Altuve.
Yeah.
Altuve will get you that double. He will get you that single. He will get on base and then steal 2 bases to get to third.
And here's the big key to it all, and I'm bringing up a name that nobody has brought up in a while. Avisail Garcia.
Ooh.
When he had, he went down and he was out for the year then. So he's out for the year.
He was a huge part of their rebuilding process.
Oh, yeah.
That was the rebuilding process.
That was the rebuild, having him and
Which
Adam.
is sad.
I mean, think about what their lineup could be and how they should be playing. You should have. I know you still have Adam Dunn, but you have Jose Abreu at first base, Gordon Beckham at second base, Alexi Ramirez at shortstop, and Connor Gillespie at third.
And you need to get rid of Gillespie as possible.
Yeah, he was batting good, but he can't hit the ball if it was a giant softball right in front of him. I mean, he is just
underhand pitch softball coming at you 20 miles an hour.
At this point, it's time to bring up a prospect. I mean, I know they got Matt Davidson. They were thinking he would be their prospect. Well, he hasn't played in the major leagues yet. But you know what? The thing that the White Sox like to do, the Cubs don't do this, but the White Sox like to bring up their prospects pretty soon, pretty instantly.
Quickly. Yeah, that was the issue with Vecito. They brought him up too soon.
And so I mean, if I was the White Sox, I'd bring up Matt Davidson. Maybe not now. I mean, the season's pretty much lost, and I think White Sox fans realize that.
Point.
And I think smart White Sox fans realized that this season was over before it started, and that Detroit was going to win the division, and it was going to be either Detroit or Kansas City fighting for the. Fighting for that.
Well, they have better
Central
farm
League.
leagues. Detroit has better pitching, better hitting.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City has an amazing farm league. If someone gets injured, they can always bring someone up from that farm league.
And yet the White Sox make these little pieces, do these little things.
And if they get injured the whole season.
Just to give their fans little things to hold on to. I mean,
their whole season's like a big game of Jenga.
Me and Andrew are both Cubs fans. We know, and the Cubs aren't aren't going out and signing people that we can say, oh, they have this guy, now they're going to be good.
We have to deal with heartbreak every day.
Right, and that's okay. We've discovered it, and we can live with it because we know in a couple years they're going to be really, really good, and they're going to have multiple postseason
And they're
runs.
already flashing little bits of greatness.
They already are. I mean,
It's already happening.
You see Anthony Rizzo, you see Starlin Castro. I mean, those are your two core pieces.
They built them up very nicely, and they have
People were
5,
saying,
6 more
trade
years.
Castro, get rid of Castro, do this, do that, sign the big free agent. Well, guess what? You stuck with Castro, and Castro's batting, what, 290, 288? He's batting right at the cleanup spot in the position, and this is only the beginning because you're going to have Javier Baez, you're going to have Chris Bryant, who's been absolutely tearing it up. Since he's come to AAA Iowa, you also have that guy you just drafted in the MLB draft, Kyle Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber's with Kane County right now. He'll be up in AA with the Tennessee Smokies in no time. He'll be in AAA possibly next year or before the year's even over. So I mean, there's a lot of people, and the White Sox just don't seem to do that. The White Sox don't seem to revamp their team as much, and I think if they did, they'd be in a lot better shape. They'd be where the Cubs are right now, and
their team just looks old and tired.
Yeah, I also agree with that. I think your pitching staff is pretty bad. Sox pitching staff is just.
Dinks should be a relief pitcher to begin with. I mean, why is he a starter? I don't know.
You have Chris Sale, and that's it. You have Chris Sale. You have Hector Noesi, who some
big
guy
news. Speaking of
up.
Chicago Cubs, we took the lead 2-1. Darwin Barney singled to center. Coughlin scored. Baker to second.
Wow, that's
and
that's
that
good.
means Rourke is definitely not doing good for you. He's negative 5.5 right now. Good call.
Now we have Hamels. Well, it'll all even out. I'll have some guy with negative points and the other guy with positive points.
Yeah, Jason Hamill has 0, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Maybe they'll both end up with like 2 points.
Negative
each or
15, I hope. That would really help me out.
something. That would help you
That'd
out
be
a
great.
lot. Yeah,
That'd be great. 30 point. And it's
I'm not sure if that's
just
going to happen.
Give it back
though.
to me.
Yeah. So obviously there was some other big news today.
Yeah.
Or yesterday.
Are we going to basketball?
Yes, we are.
All right.
With the NBA draft, and the number 1 overall pick was what most people thought, Andrew Wiggins, headed to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
That's cool. I like that. I hope LeBron sees this and decides, you know what, I could really grow with that team. And I hope he goes back to the Cavs.
It's definitely not out of the question. It looks like he's going to re-sign with Miami, but nothing's out of the question because, I mean,
I hope
a lot of
one
people
the
think
three gets out of
Carmelo.
there.
Well, because a lot of people still think Carmelo's going to re-sign with the Knicks, but I'm thinking, why would you opt out of your contract if you weren't going to, if you're going to stay with that same team?
See how much money you can make. Really.
I know that, but I really think Carmelo is going to come to Chicago. I really do.
If he does, that'd be amazing.
It would be so amazing because you'd have McDermott, which we'll get to in a second. You have Carmelo, Taj, Noah, Rose, Butler. I mean, this starting lineup is finals bound.
I think they should bench Rose for, I don't know, have him be a bench player. He can be the 6th man, but I don't
because
think
if he plays too much minutes, he's going to get hurt.
I just
again.
don't think he played too many minutes after getting back from the injury anyway. He was like averaging 40 minutes or something like that.
That's part of the thing you have with Tom Thibodeau. He's going to push his players. He's going to make them have the best regular season record possible.
Well, he should understand after having an MCL tear, you're a lot more likely to have another MCL tear.
Right. And, he's torn the ACL and the MCL now.
Yeah.
So,
congratulations to
I don't know what's next, but I really hope there's nothing next. And hopefully Rose can play for another 10 years.
He's like
and
that
be
Baker
good.
guy for, Cincinnati, just ruins pitchers.
Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Dusty Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Really not good with pitchers, but good batting coach.
Yeah, and so the second overall pick was Jabari Parker. He went to the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, this is a great move, and I think Milwaukee is very excited that they have a guy like Jabari Parker, somebody that can go right into the starting lineup right away, put up double figures, average a double-double or more every game, and really help out some of the young guys on Milwaukee, like that guy, the Greek Freak. I'm not even going to try to say his name because I don't know it. But, yeah, he's really good. You have Larry Sanders, who's a decent player. There's a lot of good people that Jabari Parker can build around, and hopefully the Bucks will build around them too. And I definitely want to go to Milwaukee this year to see Jabari Parker play, because that would be pretty cool.
As long as the tickets are cheap, I'm down.
Yeah, I've been there a couple times to the Bradley Center.
Yeah,
and it's kind of a crappy arena, but the seats are pretty cheap. So yeah.
You were telling me about the Milwaukee ballpark, and I saw it on TV, and I was like, wow.
Miller Park?
That thing is cool.
Yeah, Miller Park is just awesome.
So we have to go.
Yeah, we have to go soon.
The season's done. I'm going to look at tickets tonight.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to go before the season's done for sure. Let's see. So the Bulls, originally, before the draft started, they had the 16th and 19th picks, and they ended up trading those two to Denver for Doug McDermott and Anthony Randolph.
Which is smart because the Denver's not really in your way.
Oh, yeah. The Nuggets are...
During the season. They're not really...
Yeah, well, they're also in the Western Conference.
Exactly. So you have no competitive issues with getting them those picks.
Yeah, so they'll be... and they're in rebuilding mode, just like a lot of NBA teams are. The Bulls are trying, to win now because they are able to. I mean, it is the Eastern Conference. It's not so good. Who knows where LeBron will end up? Who knows where Wade and Bosh will end up? Who knows where Carmelo will end up? So it's definitely pretty interesting.
Wade will always be in Miami.
Yeah, but he's just not good anymore. I in a couple of years or whenever his contract's done, which I think is next year.
In sports years, he is getting up there, yes.
Yeah, and I mean, he had nothing in the finals, as we saw.
I hope he lasts longer than Kobe, but...
He probably will. Kobe's got a good 4 years on him, I think, as far as like their age.
Yeah.
Because Kobe went straight out of high school to the NBA.
He did.
Yeah. In 1996, and Dwayne Wade stayed 3 years at Marquette, which I'm still bitter about, and that's why I don't like Dwayne Wade. It's a big reason why I don't like Dwayne Wade. He was born in Chicago, born and raised. DePaul was recruiting him, and Marquette was recruiting him among a couple other teams. And he claims that DePaul didn't recruit him hard enough, and they didn't really like him, and they stopped recruiting him, and that's how he went to Marquette. But I don't buy that at all. It's possible, but I don't buy that at all. And I don't like him because he went to the arch rival of DePaul, which is Marquette University. And, that kind of pisses me off. And he went to the Final Four. He single-handedly took Marquette to the Final Four in 2003, I think, 2002, something like that. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. But, the Bulls have Doug McDermott, and that's a really, really good thing to have. They're probably going to amnesty Carlos Boozer shortly or soon. And having Doug McDermott pretty much means Mike Dunleavy, I'm sure, will be gone, either sign and trade or something like that. Then you'll have a couple other pieces you want to get rid of, a couple people you want to add, and hopefully they get Carmelo Anthony, because that would just be great. But yeah, this has been Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. We will not be back next week because it's 4th of July and the campus is closed, and we're going to be celebrating the independence of our great nation.
Yes.
I'm Ryan Stuppridge.
I'm Andrew Freeman.
And we'll see you in a couple weeks here on Fantasy Fanatics.
SportsTownChicago.com.
SportsTownChicago.com.